Now, we remember, well, let's just go. Luke chapter 9, verse 28. Okay, let's go. Instead of me speaking it, it's better if we read it. Luke chapter 9, verse 28. All right. Says there, and it came to pass about 8 days after these things, Jesus took Peter and John and James and went up into a mountain to pray. And as he prayed, the fashion of his countenance was altered, and his raiment was white and glistening. And behold, there talked with him 2 men, which were Moses and Elias. All right. And verse 31 says, who appeared in glory and spake of his decease, which he would accomplish at Jerusalem. Okay. Now, before I get into this Mount of Transfiguration experience, I want to point out one very critical, important fact. And we'll find it in Matthew 17, verse 9, and then we'll come back. So let's go over to Matthew 17, verse 9. It says there, speaking of the same incident, okay, just let me show you that. Let us go up to verse 3. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with them. So same event. Okay. Let's go down to verse 9. And as they came down, as Jesus and the 3 disciples came down from the mountain after this experience, Jesus charged them, saying, tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen from the dead. So 2 points here. 1, this experience was a vision. It was not reality. Okay, so Moses and Elijah didn't appear literally in front of the disciples. It was a vision. Okay, and secondly, it was to apply after the resurrection of Christ. It says, until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. So with that in mind, let us go back to the scripture there. Okay, so Luke 9. So now when I learned that this incident, this Mount of Transfiguration incident, was actually a vision, I had to throw out all the narrative that I had previously received about this incident. Okay, because before it was told to me that, look, Moses and Elijah actually really came and was on the mountain and they were talking with Jesus and so on and so forth. But now I understand it's a vision. Then I realized that this was a prophetic, because visions are prophetic in any case. And this prophecy would apply after the resurrection of Christ. That's what he says. Tell no one of the vision until the Son of Man is resurrected. So this vision had relevance after the resurrection of Christ. And secondly, because it was a vision, it means it is symbolic in nature. It means that Moses and Elijah were symbolic of something. Okay? It means that Jesus' face glowing was symbolic of something. It means that the Father speaking from out of the cloud was symbolic of something. Right? So, we know that the vision was to come to fulfillment after the resurrection. Okay? So, what did the vision foretell would happen after Jesus' resurrection? And that the answer to that question is found here in verse 31. It says, Moses and Elijah appeared in glory and spake of his decease. Now, I don't know why. But anyway, let me don't go down that road. But this word decease in the Greek is the word exodus. Let me show it to you in a lexicon. Notice, it's an exodus. Okay? And what do we know in the Bible? Which other time do we know in the Bible there was an exodus? There was the exodus which we just spoke of, where Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt through onto the promised land, where Joshua led them into the promised land. Okay? So that was the Exodus of old. But now Moses and Elijah are speaking to Jesus about the new Exodus, which means that Jesus is the new Moses and he is the new Elijah. Okay? Right? Because Moses and Elijah are symbolic of the law and the prophets. These were the leaders of Israel. Okay? Moses was the Torah and Elijah was the Tanakh, the law and the prophets. And I'm sure you heard that term already as you read in the Gospels. It talks about the law and the prophets. Even Paul's writings talks about the law and the prophets. This was the Old Testament, or the ancient Israelite scriptures, which we today call the Old Testament. This was what was guiding. This was the revelation of God to man in the old. Okay? But what was going to happen now? You had a new Moses, right? You had a new Elijah. Okay? Because Jesus was going to lead mankind out from the old paradigm into the new paradigm, right? He would conduct the new Exodus, which would bring humanity from Adam and Moses and the prophets unto himself, Christ. From bondage, okay, so let me go to our notes. Jesus would bring humanity and Israel from Egypt. Egypt means bondage, right? Egypt means the house of bondage, right? He would bring humanity from this to this. And that whole process now would begin after the resurrection. So that is when Jesus resurrected, it began phasing in, and it would be completed at the destruction of Jerusalem when the old system ended.